Hi, I'm Sandy Tarkington. For those who do not know me, I'm Marketing Director here at First Citizens National Bank. We are excited to offer a Smart Women event today called Take Control of Your Money. So everyone should be muted by our host. And if you see that you're not, if you maybe want to mute yourself, and our host can help with that as well. You may want to turn off your video to avoid broadband or technical issues and to save on your device battery if you're on a mobile device. I have had my device drained with an event before, and I try to be careful of that when I don't need it. If you click active speaker view, that may help you. And if you have questions throughout the presentation, if you will put those in the chat, and our speaker will watch for those questions and answer those at the end if time permits. She said she'll be glad to do that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off and pass it over to Crystal Centel. Crystal is our Public Relations Officer here at First Citizens National Bank, and she will introduce the Bonsai program and give a little bit of an overview of that, high-level overview of that, as well as introduce our speaker. Crystal?
Thank you, Sandy, and welcome to everyone who's here today. First Citizens National Bank has sponsored or partnered with Bonsai for many years now. Bonsai is a financial literacy online platform that allows students and adults to just take real life situations, simulate those, and learn better ways that they can manage their money. Currently, First Citizens sponsors 82 schools across the state of Tennessee with Bonsai. So that is a program that those teachers can use. It's free of charge to them. First Citizens covers the entire cost. We feel like that it's super important for students, young people, to get a good grasp on financial literacy early on. We have served 223 students and over 223 teachers and over 19,000 students during our sponsorship and commitment to Bonsai and financial literacy. Today we have Rebecca Christensen. She is going to give a good overview of what the program is and how you can use it, because it's not just for students, it's for our adult customers and communities as well. So Rebecca, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to turn my camera on briefly, but I'm not going to leave it on because, we don't want to take away from what we're actually talking about, which is of course financial literacy, but I do work for Bonsai. I've worked for Bonsai for about 3 years. I help a lot of banks and credit unions who are sponsoring this program in their schools and for their local communities, whether it's for nonprofit organizations or even small businesses that want to give their employees some sort of resource to manage their funds. But I've really enjoyed working for this company. I really enjoy working with partners such as First Citizens National Bank. And I'm really happy to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back off. And we are just going to get started. Also, as Crystal mentioned, please put any questions you have in the chat, and I will definitely get to those when I can. You will probably have questions, but also know that this is one of those resources that is much better to just to get your hands dirty. We really want this to be a hands-on experience. We want to make it easy for people to understand. And so I'm just going to give kind of a brief overview of what we have. And then, like I said, I'll answer questions, but I do want those on the call to know that this is something that, is best played with and understood. And maybe you'll find one thing in here that you want to utilize, and maybe you'll want to use all of it. So, but I was really excited to talk to all of you, especially with this Smart Women program that y'all are doing. Sorry, excuse my y'all, I'm from Texas. But just to be able to speak on, this topic in general, I am married, and I actually do the finances for my husband and I. Now, I don't keep the finances from him. It just kind of happened to fall into place that way. Now, he still taught me some things that I didn't know, especially because I got married at 18. Doesn't mean you all should do that, but I got married at 18, didn't know everything. But I end up handling, bill paying, and, I kind of keep an eye on our money and things like that. It makes for a good partnership because, he has his strengths and I have mine. If he were to, take care of these things just because he felt like he had to versus, him actually being able to, we might be in trouble. But we have actually used Bonsai in our lives because of how easy these tools are. And, I really believe in this sort of product and commitment. So I'll just dive right in. So as was mentioned, this is something that is in schools. Bonsai was founded in 2007, where it was only in schools, but we've made all of the courses available to everyone else. So you guys, we have added, financial calculators, we've added virtual coaches, we have articles with all sorts of topics. It's for all ages. So even if maybe you have children at home or grandchildren that you think would benefit from this, of course they can use it. They don't have to use it in the schools. If it's something that maybe you want to do as a family, this is actually something that came up a lot when the pandemic started. A lot of families were sitting down and going through the Bonsai courses and things together because it was something valuable, especially with job loss and things like that going on. But yeah, I'll just start walking through. So the courses themselves, of course, this is the backbone of Bonsai. We created 3 virtual, I want to say, choose your own adventure courses. For example, Bonsai Junior is a lemonade stand where, of course, you have a small income from the lemonade stand. You owe money to people that you borrow money from, things like that. This is great for children ages 8 and up. I know it sounds pretty juvenile, but it's also a great starting point with maybe teens and adults with cognitive disabilities. For example, I have a son with autism, and this might not be in his wheelhouse now, but at some point when he's older, that would be a great starting point for him. It's ADA compliant, so screen readers work with these programs. And then Bonsai Teen actually builds on Bonsai Junior. It is another choose your own adventure where you have a savings goal, you have a budget, you have, expenses that come up that you weren't expecting, and you need to have an emergency savings fund, and you need to choose, do I get the most expensive cell phone or do I get the cheapest, or maybe in between? And so it really challenges the user to think outside the box and try to think ahead, because maybe you have all this money in your bank now, but what if you need it later? It's like, of course I can afford this now, but what if my car breaks down? Like, they really have to think. This was made appropriate for ages 12 and up. Once again, I know it seems juvenile, but it is such a good starting place because it's better to experience money loss and money, using money without actually losing your money.
Hey, Rebecca.
Yes.
Rebecca, real quick, are we supposed to be seeing your screen or still the welcome slide?
Is it not sharing my screen?
It's not.
Oh gosh, that's embarrassing.
It's okay.
How did this happen? Let me see. I did all that talking. Okay,
We all understand technical difficulties.
How's that?
Much better.
Okay. Y'all works in Tennessee as well as Texas. Well, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. Okay, courses. There we go. This is what I was talking about. Don't worry, I only clicked like twice, so thank you. Anyway, so like I said, these courses are easy to go through. And they're appropriate for everyone, but of course we did have different age groups in mind. Then Bonsai Plus, it builds on Bonsai Teen. You're talking about credit and establishing credit, which is something I didn't know until I met my husband. It talks about saving for a down payment for a house and how a mortgage works and things like that. So these are definitely worth checking out, worth sharing with people that you know, and maybe utilizing for, just maybe you're bored. Honestly, I lost the game the first time. I lost to Bonsai Teen and Bonsai Plus the first time. the first time I played through. And that's okay, because then you learn from your mistakes and then you can try again. So the idea of Bonsai is to, of course, expound upon, creating a budget and using credit and things like that. And so we have created some more resources, such as articles. So if I go under the article section, if I'm interested in learning more about retirement, which is definitely something no one's talked to me about until I, had a job with a 401k, I could ask all the questions in the world, but it's really easy to also just find the information. Leaving a job with a 401k, critical retirement choices, portfolio building, things like that. And Bonsai, we've provided all of this information mostly with the feedback of other users. But it's great to be able to find the information in one place. I know it's difficult for a lot of people to ask for help or ask questions or even know what questions to ask in the first place. This is a great place to start. And then with articles, we actually do have built-in resources such as coaches. So for example, this is a retirement funds coach. It teaches you the difference between Roth and traditional, which, by the way, after I went through this coach, that was the first thing I did, was go change my 401k. Predict how much your retirement savings will grow, and test different values for future retirement outcomes. So this is like walking through a resource with somebody, but it's actually virtual. You don't have to speak with anyone. You don't have to make an appointment. It's a good place to start if it'll load. My internet has been a little spotty. There we go. But as you can see, it does act as though it is a person sort of speaking with you. It asks you a couple of questions, like, okay, it's asking my age, and I'll be honest, I'm 30, so we'll put that in. We're going to pretend I want to retire at 65. I actually have no idea. Yes, I am married. And as you can see, okay, we're going to make up a number here. It does ask some personal questions, but these are still personal questions. Like this isn't like an application for something. This isn't, something that is going to come back to bite you later. It's just helping you tailor this particular coach to you personally. If you have, additional questions about things, like you can click on items that explain things a bit better. Okay, let's take a look at your money. You're able to have one of each account. Where would you like to start? Well, let's start with 401k, and then do you have money? Yes, I do. And yes, maybe I only have, $2,000 in there. I don't know. But, this really helps break it down for you personally. You can also save your progress. So it's something you can come back to later. So if you did all that work and you want to make sure that you can access it later, you can do so. And then, of course, we do have regular calculators that look like this. So if you just want a quick, okay, income, savings, goal, monthly savings, rate of return, current age, and then it shows you, okay, here's what it's going to look like for your savings. So let's see. Do we have any questions so far? I don't think so. I think everyone was just talking about my y'all that I threw in there. We do also, of course, have financial calculators, very easy to find, very easy to use. I always recommend the budget calculator. It's got this nice interface, if it would load. Oh, there we go. You put your income in, your monthly expenses and yearly expenses, and it breaks it down by expense. So if you do go over your monthly expenses, it puts you in the red and kind of shows you, a visual aid of where you're at, how many savings you have left over, all that good stuff. So this is a great tool to also bookmark for the future. For example, my husband and I bought a new house. Okay, new. We bought a house new to us. It was built in 94. But we bought a house in November, and we knew that our mortgage was going to change. So we input our current budget, and then we switched up our mortgage to kind of see where that put us and if we needed to make any changes to our other budgeting items. And it was so easy to do. And then, we could always come back to it as well if we wanted to make any other changes. We have a savings calculator, auto loan affordability calculator, all this good stuff, mortgage estimation, mortgage affordability, stimulus check calculator, which PS, some people still need this. And Also, if that ever happens again, we will make sure to update that. Cost of living calculator, mortgage refinance calculator, debt payoff calculator, very important. But like I said, too, this is something that you kind of have to just feel out for yourself and kind of explore, which, by the way, I'll make sure that this link is available. Are we sending the link out after this, Crystal or Sandy? I can't recall.
Yes, we will send the link out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And once that link is out, like this can be accessed at any time on any web browser, even on your phone. These calculators and these coaches are fully responsive. So if you come into one of the coaches and you're like, oh gosh, a financial wellness assessment, this will tell me where I need to start. This will work on an iPad, on a phone, on an Android. You just have to have internet connection for it to work. So you can search by topic. So if you're coming here for something more specific and don't want to dig, of course you can search. And then if you have questions about Bonsai or how that works, of course, you can reach back out to First Citizens. If this is something that you think, someone in your life could use, of course, share it. It's always encouraged. It's very easy. You can always link to, this main page, or if you're like, oh, hey, check out, this Get Out of Debt coach, which, by the way, is our most popular coach. They can just copy and paste the link. You might hear about this more in the future because Bonsai is always updating the program, but I know that First Citizens definitely loves to provide this, and we love to help them do so. And of course, providing it to the schools. So I hope that was helpful. Did anybody have any questions? I don't want to talk everyone's ear off too much. I know it was a lot of information. But like I said, too, I could walk through this all day long, but a lot of it is just kind of getting your hands dirty and really figuring it out for yourself.
Rebecca, could you open one of the games and actually show us what that looks like?
Sure.
Maybe kind of go through it quickly.
Yeah, which one? Junior, teen, or plus? You decide.
Let's go teen.
All right. Let's do it. All right, so Bonsai Teen. So I am going to have to sign up for an account. So let me show you what that looks like. Now, the reason it asks for your age is if I don't think anyone here is this, but if you're under the age of 13, we do protect your information 100% due to the, they call it COPA, which is Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So you'll be able to create an account, but nobody can see your info. Even Bonsai can't see the information of who signs up at that age. So I'll put in my age. I'll put in my name. I'm going to make a fake email because I do this a lot. There is also a Spanish option. So by the way, but I don't speak Spanish, so we're going to go English. And once you're signed up, this is the dashboard. So if I go in and play Bonsai Teen, we have a pre-test, we have a quick life scenarios, we have the game, and then we have a post-test. I'm going to go ahead and just play the game, and this is what it looks like. So this is sort of like I think we call them slides, where it goes through and says, okay, to win the game, you have to save enough to register for college. Here's your budget. You have cash, checking, credit card. Budget is food, car, rent, utilities, other, and then college. Put in as much into college as you can without ignoring other needs. Don't run out of time. And then you have a job. It looks like you are the assistant manager at Corner Bookstore. So you get your paycheck. The boss gave you $5 extra per hour and a one-time bonus of $300. From now on, you decide which budgets you put your money in. You have upcoming bills to see how many paychecks you have left, which bills are coming up soon. So rent and cell phone are coming up, and you can then start dividing up your money. So it says put your money into checking. So $890.40 into checking. Then I need to add it to my budget. So I know that I have $400 coming up for rent. I have $79.99 for phone, which I'll put into utilities, and I'm just going to round it up to 80. And then I like to have some money in, other, and the rest of it will go into college. And the rest of the game is a lot like this, where, it reminds you to check your bills. Oh, look, my car broke down like just now. That's cool. That even looks like my old car. That's awesome. The mechanic says it'll cost $520 to fix. So the question is, do you fix the car or do you go shopping for a new car? So now you have to make these big life decisions and think, oh gosh, if I fix the car, is it just going to break down again? Is it worth it? That's kind of a chunk of money, or maybe I can afford a car payment. I'm going to go ahead and just buy a new car. Well, relatively new. Go to the dealer, look at options. Now we have to really explore the different options, how much it'll cost per month, the miles per gallon, things like that. So that kind of gives you an idea of, what this is going to be like. You can't just click through this and just, breeze through it. You're going to learn something whether you want to or not. So, and like I said, very user friendly, very easy. This one that you chose, Bonsai Teen, is for ages 12 and up. And, most of the time kids lose the game the first time, and that's okay because then they learn from their mistakes. This one is having, do we choose the more expensive Trader Moe's, which we all know what that's of course referring to, or right price? We'll go with the cheaper one. Okay, your total is $31.50. And don't let the graphics fool you. Don't feel like this is for children. There are a lot of adults out there that could use this sort of, education, or just sort of, reminder that, budgeting is actually very important. And maybe this way of budgeting doesn't quite work. This is called double entry accounting, but it's a good start. Any questions? I don't see questions. Does that mean I'm doing a good job or a bad job?
You're doing a great job. Does anyone have any questions for Rebecca about the program, or for me about how First Citizens partners with Bonsai?
Hey, Crystal, tell about some of the schools and how they're using it. You may just want to use some of the schools as examples. I know it's at different across the state, but that might make it personal. I know we've got students and teachers and community groups using, and that there's 2 different versions of Bonsai, even if you want to maybe make reference to that.
There is. I mentioned when I started this, we have we're in 82 schools across the state, and that's middle and high schools. We do have schools in all of our counties that First Citizens serves, with the exception of our East Market, that these schools are using this program. The teachers sign up and they're able to get a special classroom. And Rebecca, please correct me if I misspeak on any of this, but they're able to set up their classroom and get this program. Their students go online, just like Rebecca just showed you, and they're able to track their progress. At the end, we know that there you go. There's a list of the schools that we're in right there. Like I said, it's 82 schools, so that's a lot of kids that are being impacted. And for the most part, all these schools are getting this program free for their students. They can order books, or it can be all online. Is that correct, Rebecca?
Yes, everything. We let the teachers use the program in the way that works best for them in their classroom, because teachers, of course, have their ways and what works for them and their kids. So yes, we have the online platform, and then they can order books. The books are similar to the online program in that they do have different scenarios that they need to kind of work through. And I also believe that there are some, I think there's a check that they learn how to fill out, and a deposit slip, which is still relevant. I know that checks don't seem super relevant, but when I just bought my house, they made me use a check to write my earnest money. So it's a good thing I had some. So, it's still kind of teaching students, or at least introducing them to different concepts that they're definitely going to run into later. So, and it's free. It's free for teachers because First Citizens National Bank is providing it. So there you go.
We at First Citizens, we just know that is a super important subject that a lot of times gets looked over in the classroom, because but these are real life things that kids are going to face as they become adults. They're going to have to to budget and have to figure out how to live on a budget and make money and manage that money well. And as a bank, obviously we want them to make those right choices. So that's why we feel so strongly about offering a financial literacy program into our communities that we hope that those students will come back and say eventually, well, you know what, I took that program in high school or middle school, and First Citizens sponsored me. Let me go see what they have to say when I'm ready to open a bank account somewhere. We hope that they remember that we provided this to them. And then there's a direct portion of that, right, Rebecca? Do you want to talk a little bit of difference between the school version and the community version?
Yeah, so the school version, of course, is for teachers to utilize in their classrooms. And what makes it different is teachers sign up for the course, and then they have their students enroll, and the students' information is protected because, they're going through their school. Of course, they would need, consent from the parents and things like that. So the students' information, Bonsai does not have it, First Citizens does not have it. They only communicate with the teacher, and then the teacher can use it in their classroom. Now with Bonsai Direct that you mentioned, that was the take control of your money page where we had the, I'm trying to go back to it. And of course it's not working. So, but where we had the articles and the calculators and the coaches, and that one is just for individuals. So that one, like, someone does not have to go through a teacher in order to utilize this. It can be for anybody who wishes to use the Bonsai program or play the games and things like that. Basically, the teacher acts as like a buffer, as well as, the teacher can grade their students, but anybody who wants to go through it just themselves, that's where this page comes in. I do see that we have a note from Dolores. Bringing this to Williamson County Public Library. Yes, that's something we can do. And Crystal, you might want to speak on that a little bit more, but this is something that can be brought to libraries, nonprofits.
Absolutely.
And things like that.
Absolutely. I know here in Dyer County, I know we have quite a few nonprofit organizations that have used the program to help educate those community members that they serve. And so libraries is definitely something that we would love to be able to get out to you. So Dolores, we will talk afterwards, or you can take that link and you just share it everywhere. We would love as many people as we can get to look at this program and to benefit from our investment would be just fantastic.
One note on that too is, if there is a nonprofit who wants to use this, they're welcome to even put the link on their socials or website. If First Citizens shares information on Facebook, someone can share that post to their personal page or share it to their, website. But it's really just about getting this sort of information out to those who need it most. And of course, those who need it most, may not be on this call, but y'all who are here might know somebody or something like that. And so you hope that, this can get into the right hands too.
Hey, Crystal, this is Laura Beth. As far as one thing that I've learned today is that there are options for those with some disabilities. And so I don't know if we've reached out to Kay Castelaw at the Tennessee Rehab Center, but this might be a great tool where they take individuals with disabilities and try to prepare and get them into the workforce. And so if the goal is for them to be able to be more independent. And so if they have this type of tool in addition to their work skills, that might be a great combination. So you might want to reach out to her as well.
I think that's great, Laura Beth. Thank you. And in any other areas, if you have any programs such as that work with disability citizens or citizens with disabilities, please share as well. And I will reach out to her, Laura Beth.
And I'll send you her contact information just to make sure you have it.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Yeah, we love all of it. Please. I could talk about bonsai all day, which I do, but I could do it anyway. Of course. Yes, you are welcome Dill, not sure who you are. One thing too, this is something that, anybody can access, and maybe you have questions or things like that. I am the representative at Bonsai, but of course I would reach out to First Citizens first and they could help. And of course, if there's something going on with this, of course they could reach out to me, but just know that you have support when it comes to finance and things like that. Like this isn't something that, you're going to have to take and do and just figure it out. Like you can be walked through it if you have questions or anything, or if something's not working out or something doesn't make sense, make sure that you know that you can reach out.
Absolutely. We echo that, Rebecca. At the bank, we are here to serve you. We are here to make sure that you are making the best choices with your finances and help you where you need help. And that's all about why we started Smart Women, while Judy Long wanted to start Smart Women, to educate people to make good choices. And this goes right along with one of our strategic goals is just to educate in financial literacy. So we're very happy to provide this program and sponsor and help you however we can.
No more questions, no concerns, no weird comments that I would love to read.
Sounds like we are ready to close.
Well, that was fast.
It was fast. Everybody gets a little extra time back and nobody ever complains about that. Okay. Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us today for Smart Women. And this was a great presentation of Bonsai. Thank you, Rebecca. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. There was a link shared in the chat. If you saw that, you may want to click on that before this program ends, but that was firstcmb.learnbonsai.com. You may want to go there and check out some of what's available. There will also be a link of the recording, as I mentioned earlier, that will be shared following this event. So for those who registered, we will email that to them so that you'll have that for later viewing or sharing with others. It'll also be posted at firstcmb.com/smartwomen and on our social media channels. So follow us and watch for more information. And as was mentioned earlier, this good information gets shared by us sharing it. So thank you to all of you for being a resource that can pass that along to those who can enjoy it and appreciate it. And I saw a comment about teenagers. That's great. We've got lots of groups who can definitely use that information. So definitely a good group to target there. Students, teachers, community groups, lots of people can use information. We can all use help in some area of financial education. We don't know it all, so we can all learn something and share with others. So one thing we did not mention is that today is Teach Children to Save Day. So how much of a perfect fit this program is. It's not just about teaching children, but teaching ourselves as well. So we're glad to be able to offer that information. If you have any questions following today's program, please email smartwomen@firstcmb.com. And we will be glad to answer those questions, or if you have suggestions of future programs, we would love that information as well. So with that, we will say goodbye and look forward to next time. And thank you all for joining us.